everybody for coming out today. Joining Coach Leipold is senior wide receiver Malcolm Robinson, one of his best game of his career so far. Had a career on 5 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown against Ball State on Saturday. Bulls will travel to Northern Illinois and take on the Huskies this Saturday. With that, we'll throw over for questions.
You an Indians fan, Malcolm?
I'm a Cleveland fan, yeah. Actually, I'm so proud of the team so far.
So Cavs. Got to be Cavs.
Of course,
not
yeah.
Browns.
Nah, not too much of the Browns. I mean, I support them and everything, but yeah, definitely a Cavs fan. I actually seen one game of LeBron growing up in high school when I was little. Yeah.
Wow. So that was memorable. Was it
It
Jim
was.
Pat?
You said what?
Was it Jim Pat?
Oh yeah, he played my high school actually. It was there. It was on. It was on the his movie, the More Than a Game.
No.
Yeah, it was down in the field house. It was fun.
It was at your place, Canton.
Yeah.
All right. And how did he play?
He played good. Of course he did. I think that's when the year they won state.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at last week's game, if you don't have a block in the back penalty on Franklin's return and you make a 20-yard field goal, you easily could have been leading 24-7 at halftime.
Exactly.
Do you feel like your kind of self-inflicted mistakes are hurting you maybe as much as the other team, and how do you stop that?
Of course, just got to stay more disciplined. We did shoot ourselves in the foot on that one, especially because we didn't score coming off of that fumble recovery, and that missed field goal was big, but we'll get it back.
You had, you got the long catch down the sideline early in the game. Did you, how good did that feel? And do you feel like the pass offense, took a step forward last week?
It definitely took a step forward. We've been needing them explosive plays to get the team going in sideline, getting into the game and everything. And I felt like that did help. It helped a lot because you've seen the sideline and the players and everybody, my teammates, they like ignited when that happened. And that's what we've been needing during this season. So I'm glad that it did take a step forward, and Tyree been stepping up. He got the ball around. Receivers been stepping up to the game. I was just proud of how everybody came out, but we just got to finish now.
What do you feel about it?
Has that been you guys as a receiving group, Malcolm? Has it been Tyree growing as a quarterback, or has it been a combination of both?
Combination of both. We all had work to do during the season. I mean, as you can see, in past games, we all had our mistakes and everything. But I feel like this weekend was definitely a step forward. Hopefully, we can keep the ball going.
You've had as good a view of Tyree's progression through the beginning of the season as anybody. Give us some idea about the ways that you've seen him start to get better and more comfortable. And obviously, we see the stats and the numbers that he put up last week as part of that. But what can you tell us from the inside about the ways he's sort of developing? Because you played with veteran quarterback obviously last year.
No, he definitely getting more comfortable with the offense and everything. He's definitely stepping up in the huddle, taking that leadership role as a quarterback and everything. I mean, as a senior receiver and everything, we try to help his job and be a little bit easier and everything like that. But just more comfortable. You could tell he's more comfortable just voicing more in the huddle, making sure everybody doing their job.
Do you feel like, I don't know how much you see this because you're running downfield, but you guys handled the blitz reasonably well. Did you have a sense of that as the game was going on?
Yeah, of course. I felt like we had way more time in the Tyree had way more time in the pocket. As we was going into the game, we knew that they was going to blitz, and I felt like the offensive line did their job this game.
On the deep balls, Tyree seems to be putting enough air under it to give you guys a chance to make a catch. Actually, Joe did that pretty well too.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah, he definitely. As a receiver group, we had to talk to him about that. I mean, he got a strong arm. He have a real strong arm, man. Every chance he gets, every time he get a chance to show it, he definitely gonna show it.
He maybe he hasn't done it quite as much in the last couple of weeks, but we've seen him scramble around a lot and make some plays with his legs. How do you guys, as receivers, have to react when he starts to scramble around? Are there sort of designated things that you guys do as receivers when plays break down a little bit like that?
Of course, I mean, we work on scramble drill all the time. Just basically hopefully, you got to get a block or you got to get open It's just basically the same drills that we always work on. You got different routes you have to run.
You don't necessarily know if he's going to run or if he's
Yeah,
going
no, but the drills that we have, like, it depends on whatever route you're running. Then you got to either come back to the ball or go up the sideline or whatever. Just basically get open for him or get on the block, make him do what he do best.
Lance, just looking at the film, what can you say about the run defense and what needed to happen?
Well, the biggest thing is maintaining gap integrity is what we're doing. There's, I think Brian came up with a stat of, 200 and some plus yards on 12 plays in under 4 minutes is really, and 3 touchdowns was a big major breakdown in a short period of time. And then everything from there, then you kind of go back and slice it up and you're playing some decent defense. Again, ability to stay in gaps, whether it's be slanting or blitzing. There's times where our blitz tracks are not where they needed to be. 2 guys in a gap, guys running in someone. All those different things second, third level, we got to continue to work on getting off blocks. On some of those, we got to fight pressure a little better and to be able to get there. So, that's the thing. 80 some plays of defense is too many, and we've got to get better at that. You can go back a few weeks back and talk about an Army attack, and you look at the rushing numbers, and you can kind of stomach those a little bit. Now the ones of late, that's not acceptable. It's not what we thought we could be, and now I've got another excellent running back, a running quarterback, and they do a great job in the fly sweep game. That's going to be a huge challenge for us.
Do you think the cutbacks, he was a really good cutback runner. I mean, is that particular maybe where the gaps be not?
Yeah, staying square, seeing it. Again, that's that, there's sometimes in some guys, and whether it be experience and who's out there with is, there's times we feel we're not reacting quick enough and we're getting trapped inside and want guys to play faster, and then they're playing faster, then you're over pursuing and the cutbacks there. So again, it's discipline, reaction. It's a little bit of everything that you got to be able to see it, then go get it. And then of course, when we got to get off blocks, and right now that's not where it needs to be, and we've got to get better this week.
Their offense, could you characterize that again?
Northern's
offense. You talked about the fly. They do jet sweeps.
Yeah, they do,
power
and
toss sweeps.
they'll do something there. They've they've gone through some quarterback injuries. They've kind of come together in a nice quarterback package as far as quarterback run game goes. In some areas similar to Kent, but pretty much what a lot of people have in with the read scheme as well. But they'll also run zone and some toss plays with their backs. Excuse me. They're still very multiple and doing things, and it's not anything different than we haven't been preparing for from a lot of different teams. They just do a very good job of being multiple, and they have weapons. They've had though they've lost their quarterback. Galladay's probably one of the better receivers in the league. Not probably, he is, at least what we've been able to see. Very confident. I think he has 49 catches on the year. Their running backs are they have a couple of backs have been very productive, and then add the quarterback run game. They're record-wise not where Northern has been, not what they've been used to, but that doesn't mean. I mean, they have had 3 overtime games losses, so they're putting it in. So, very quickly, that's a 500 team if things go their way, let alone a very challenging schedule and some things battling through injuries that haven't put them where they normally are. But it'll be a huge challenge.
In the Kent State game, the jet sweeps were almost used as a little more of a deception to set things up for the quarterback runs. Northern Illinois, each of their receivers, I think, has carried it at least 8 to 10 times. So is it different? Is it the same?
Yeah, they're going to. I think when you look at the explosiveness of some of their receivers, they want the ball in their hands too, and they complement it really well. I mean, they're using different areas, and they time that up real well, and they're going to find ways to outflank you with that, and they've hurt people with that all year.
Maddie his running ability? Does he do a lot of the zone read off
Yeah.
tackle?
Yeah, they've used him very, very well off of that, and the power read, and so a lot of moving parts of discipline is going to be a big part of what they do, and we're going to have to stop.
Is there part of you, because they've been so good for so long, and I understand the reasons you've explained as to why they've struggled this year, but to look at a Northern Illinois team with a record like that, it surprise you at all?
I think you look across college football again. You see programs all across the country that maybe things at this time haven't gone their way, and there's people that are surprising people. That's where a lot of things happen, and that's why we know with half a season to go, we have a chance to kind of flip it here and surprising. Yeah, I guess surprising, but again, 2 overtime losses in South Florida and a rated San Diego State team and Western Michigan and a top 20 team right now and Central Michigan. I mean, that's a pretty challenging first half of the schedule once you break it all out. And starting at Wyoming in the altitude in a game that lasted forever and then bouncing back and everything else. They've been through a lot. Rod Carey and his staff have been outstanding. That's been the a marquee program now for quite a while. Craig Harmon is their quarterbacks coach, was on our staff at Whitewater in 2013 season. He's former Northern Illinois quarterback, and he's an outstanding coach. We know what their mindset will be as far in they're a day-to-day operation, win or lose, and a pretty even keel. So they're going to be excited for the opportunity to get back on the winning ways.
Their defense and numbers are way down from last year. Just kind of what do you see?
I think they've battled some injuries there as well, and some consistency. Again, Mark, I'd go back to some of the people they're playing though too. I think as far as this time, I don't it hasn't been to maybe their liking or where past standards have been. Haven't studied all their numbers for sure. The one I would pay the least amount of attention to is points per game, especially when you get into overtime games, because that changes drastically, especially when you play 3 of them twice. But I think there's been some times with them is probably uncharacteristic is some runs that maybe some people have broken on them at certain times, and much like we've struggled.
Do they play man? I mean, Lurie
Yeah.
is really good.
Yeah, he's good. Yep, and they're going to play a lot of different teams. They haven't been blitzing as much as maybe what we've seen of late, but you got to be ready for it. I think as we talked. As you talked with Malcolm, one of the things I think we've done a good job is our protecting of the quarterback. But you've always got to be ready for that, and we use a lot of different protection schemes, and we put a lot on the quarterback and our center, and as well as our running backs to step up in protection and do things. And I think we've done a good job of that so far. But athletically, that's still a very athletic secondary. Linebackers that move very well, and again, I think at the defensive end spot, they always pose problems for you as far as their athleticism goes at it when you have a Northern Illinois defense.
Malcolm, Lurie had maybe the interception of the year against you guys, a great play. I don't know if you remember it last year here on the sideline. Do you remember much of what their cornerbacks playing against them?
Yeah, I remember that play. That was a big play. Remember he caught one on another one. I think we tried to double move him. He's a nice little ball hawk, but I mean, yeah, I give him props on that one. That was a good play.
What do you remember about the game last year against them, Malcolm? You guys kind of battled them for a pretty good amount of time. What jumps out at you from last year?
Last year, I feel like came out kind of slow at the beginning. I remember we came towards the end of the game. That's when we came back fighting again. The second half, we just got to finish and just come out faster.
Anything else for Coach or Malcolm? Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Available 101.